This is the story of how Rupert Murdoch took over the old newspapers of Fleet Street and used them to wage a cultural revolution against the snobbish elites that dominated Britain. But there was a weird logic to Murdoch's revolution that would lead him to intrude ever more deeply into people's private lives and would eventually bring his empire to the brink of destruction.
And it talks on the phone. The world's top talking power.
Murdoch's populist revolution failed to change Britain's power structure. Yet his failure would open the way for the rise of a new elite, who are far more invasive into all our private lives than Murdoch's papers ever were.
Well, we'll send one of our best parrot photographers, Betty. How's that?
Rupert Murdoch shocked the British establishment right from the start. In 1969, he bought the News of the World and immediately published the diaries of the model and call girl Christine Keeler. They unearthed an old sex scandal about a Conservative politician called John Perfumer, and the British establishment was scandalised.
Christine Keeler, the girl who sparked off a drama of government scandals, spying, intrigue and even death. On Sunday, Christine opens her secret diary and tells the first full story in the News of the World.
I was young and naive then, but now I've had time to think. This is the first time the public will be able to read the real truth.
Do you have any qualms about that as muckraking and going over an old scandal that should be dead and buried by now?
No, certainly not. And it shouldn't be dead and buried either.
The vicious reaction of the British upper classes shocked Murdoch, and in the 1970s he fled with his young family to the United States. And he used the money pouring in from his British newspapers to start building an American empire. And his personal myth began to take shape, that he was a revolutionary outsider, challenging the decadent British system. In 1976, he said in an interview, "In Britain, it's very easy to get sucked into the establishment. I think when people start taking knighthoods and peerages, it's really telling the world that you have sold out. I just wasn't prepared to join the system." And in 1981, Murdoch came back and took his revenge. He bought the Times and made it clear that he was now challenging the hypocritical elites wherever they were in Britain or America.
They hate to see someone communicating with the masses. They feel that newspapers, the written word, is not for the masses. That should be left to television, or perhaps to nobody. But there's a great sort of elitism. It was a typical piece of slanting and elitism by the BBC. Well, I don't know what you mean by down market and up market. That is so English, class-ridden snobbery when you talk like that.
Over the next 30 years, Murdoch's newspapers promoted a populist idea of democracy. This challenged the idea that anyone could set themselves up in Britain as a superior elite and tell people what was best for them. But there was a ferocious logic to this idea of democracy. Because if everyone was equal, then no one was special. And that had big implications for the celebrities who had become central to Murdoch's newspapers. If they were more famous than the rest of us, it meant they were different from us. And the Murdoch vision didn't like the idea of anyone being different. So celebrities had to be transformed, so they would become more like us. Flawed and unhappy, drinking too much and eating too little, struggling with emotional problems and with cellulite. But most celebrities didn't want to be seen like that. So Murdoch's journalists had to resort to increasingly devious methods to give us the information we craved, the private failings and weaknesses of the famous. Today, Murdoch may be on the way out, but we all still distrust elites. And there is a new empire that offers the same dream of a world without hierarchies where we are in control. It is Google, with its promise of information flowing free of all political control, and where everyone talks to each other as equals. But the price we pay for this is that Google's machines watch us all the time and know everything about us. And they don't even have to pay for private detectives or for phone taps. And the strange thing is, we don't seem to be bothered about this at all.